So, here we are again, learning about India, or Bharat, as they say. And last week, like you saw, we learned about the Vedas, which got me really confused and just posed more questions than answers. And I'm looking to learn and look more into that also. But what I've always wondered is what is actually Hinduism? Because as much as I know, it's not, I don't know if it's a religion or what is it. Anyway, there's a 5-minute video, origins and history of Hinduism. So let's see if that clears up some of the questions I have. Or if it, poses more questions like the last video did. Very colorful.
Is the world's oldest religion, dating back over 4,000
That I know.
Its early origins are ambiguous, with no single founder or definite starting point. In fact, many Hindus believe their religion is eternal, as old as time itself. Hinduism prescribes honesty, refraining from injuring living beings, patience, self-restraint,
Very
virtue, and
peaceful
compassion
religion, yeah.
among others. Hindu practices include rituals such as worship, recitations, and meditation. Its earliest known origins are found in the Indus Valley civilization, with which it shares some religious practices including ritual bathing, sacrifices, and goddess worship.
A lot of rituals.
The Vedic period is so named for the composition of the 4 Vedas, considered timeless divine
Here we go,
composed
back
in
with the
Sanskrit,
Vedas again.
the primary language of Hinduism. The Rig Veda is the oldest, largest, and arguably most important Veda, composed of more than 1,000 poetic hymns and focused significantly on the pantheon of gods.
So you see 1,000 poetic hymns, and I only looked at what was it, like a 15-minute video last time, so that's not enough.
The Vedas speculated upon an interconnected universe with a single unifying force behind an otherwise diverse cosmos termed Brahman. Although most Hindus believe that Brahman is the ultimate source of everything, it is not worshipped like a god and is not understood as a single deity. Instead, all male deities are thought to individually reflect the multiple aspects of Brahman. A Rig Veda hymn dedicated to the creator god termed Brahma is thought
Brahma,
to be
Vishnu,
the origin
Shiva.
of the caste system, as it introduced the 4 social classes of Hinduism.
So this is another thing that I want to really look into, the caste system. I know nothing about this, and since I lived in India for 9 months and I traveled around in northern India, but I never got in contact with caste. This is completely unknown to me, because I don't the people I talked to, they never talked about the caste system, since it's like their thing. But yeah, I would really like to learn about that also.
These 4 classes were believed to have originated from distinct body parts of Brahma. Priests from the mouth, nobles from the arms, commoners from the thighs, and servants from the feet.
So this is how what I've understood is how they explain a lot of the things in India, is that so this is like a poetic way of explaining things, like this is a mouth and this is a arm and so on. I remember Lake Nainital, where we were, this was supposed to be one of the goddess Parvati's or eye. So yeah.
According to the Vedas, to make life meaningful, Hindus should pursue 4 goals simultaneously: generating and distributing wealth, indulging in pleasure and seeking emotional fulfillment, pursuing liberation and release by not being overly attached to anything.
Is this correct?
Socially responsible by following a code of ethics and duties, which is the Dharma.
Dharma, yes,
Widely
the rules of
regarded
life.
as the most authoritative book on Hindu law, the Mansumriti elaborates on the Dharma and prescribes them to each of the 4 varnas or castes, justifying therefore the caste system as the basis of social order. Related to the Dharma,
Yeah, the caste system really confuses me. I really need to watch a video on it.
is the fundamental concept of karma, according to which virtuous actions always receive good consequences and vice versa.
Like in a contemporary way, does it really work anymore, the caste system? I mean, does it, like nowadays, is there a place for it or no? I don't really, because there must be a meaning behind it, but there's so much controversy with it, so yeah.
Incarnation is key to Hinduism, and karma is thought to operate not only in this lifetime, but also across lifetimes, meaning that one's future lives and the caste in which they may be will be conditioned by actions performed during one's present life, which itself has been conditioned by the actions performed in previous lives.
Rebirth.
Important texts of Hinduism also include the two very long epic poems, Ramayana and Mahabharata.
These were in the last video also.
Elaborated on the deities and doctrines introduced in the Vedas and were partially based on historical events that took place in the ancient Hindu kingdoms. The first official Hindu temples were built during this Puranic period and were dedicated to significant Hindu deities such as Vishnu the protector and Shiva the destroyer of the universe. 5th century India was a time of significant religious and philosophical reform. In response to what was perceived as the failure of Hinduism to address the needs of people, many schools of thought developed, including Buddhism led by Siddhartha Gautama, who had been a Hindu prince. Although it is often referred to as an offshoot of Hinduism, Buddhism rejects the Hindu caste system and abandons its rituals, priesthood, and gods.
So I'm not sure if that's how it went down, and also there's so, like, one story can be told in so many different ways, even in my Kedarnath video, which is, you can go check it out, but it's my biggest video and there's tons of comments. There was one guy explaining this, about the temple, how it was built and what happened in there, and lots of comments say that is not right, this is the way it happened. Then another guy comes in, no, that's not right also. So it's a difficult thing knowing how it actually was.
Whereas Gupta emperors used Hinduism as a unifying religion, the collapse of their empire resulted in the formation of regional kingdoms dedicated to specific deities. However, Hinduism in general remained the most popular as it encompassed all Hindu folklore and scripture. After centuries of invasion, Muslims became the dominant political force in India. While some Islamic leaders were lenient to Hindu practices, Muslims, especially after 1500, prohibited the worship of Hindu deities and destroyed many sacred temples.
This is one of the things in Kashmir that's going on, the big conflict between the Hindus and Muslims.
In 1757, British victory meant the end of Muslim dominance. Initially, the British allowed Hindus to practice their religion freely, but eventually Western missionaries sought to convert Hindus to Christianity. This was a time of internal reform and rebellion, with Hindu missionaries rallying to rid the religion of the so-called Christian superstition.
This is another topic that I need to look at, the Christian invasion. That's like what I've heard is that's one of the least known catastrophes or invasions of humankind. That was like a really bloody time period of 200 years even.
The British Raj also furthered the development of the caste system, making it more rigid and formulating it into the British system of government.
Of course, there's a way of control.
Castes were segregated. Priests would not accept food or drink from the servants, and one could only marry within their own caste.
So it was the caste system is the current caste system is a version of the British. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
British colonialism
this answers a lot of questions.
Undoubtedly served as a catalyst for growing Indian nationalism, with Indianness increasingly tied with the emerging concept of Hinduness.
So the way that the caste system originally started has nothing to do how it is nowadays, I assume, or very little to do. So it was tweaked by the Christians.
Gandhi himself drew upon established Hindu traditions, namely pacifism and non-violence, in his rally for Indian independence. After the end of colonial rule, India was split into the independent nations of Hindu-majority India and the predominantly Muslim Pakistan. Independent Indian constitution prohibited discrimination based on caste, though some social traditions of marrying only from one's own caste are still sometimes followed. Today, the third largest religion in the world has undoubtedly had a profound impact upon Western culture. From the Beatles' fascination with transcendental
I went to that ashram where the Beatles were,
meditation
in Rishikesh.
to modern-day yoga practice.
Okay, so very interesting. I'm looking for a lot of comments saying what was, who knows what's right and what's wrong, but what are your ideas? And I'm looking to, look more into that. So I got some few more video ideas from this, and it's very interesting, the caste system and learning about this. And obviously this 5 minutes doesn't do any justice to the information about Hinduism at all. So again, it's a very broad and wide topic, like the Vedas was. So let me know, subscribe, like this video, comment, of course, let me know some ideas. If you have any, video ideas or what to look at, definitely let me know. I'd be very interested, and catch you guys in the next one. Bye.